We will be reading this chapter, Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. This is chapter 2 of class 8th science. I hope the orientation is clear. The screen is clear to everybody. So, in case you are interested in hearing the audio of the first chapter, you can come to the playlist of online biology tutorials. Class 8 Science audiobook has already been uploaded. I hope the screen is visible and the orientation is also clear now. So let's begin. You have seen several kinds of plants and animals. However, there are other living organisms around us which we normally cannot see. These are called microorganisms or microbes. For example, you might have observed that during the rainy season, moist bread gets spoiled and its surface gets covered with grayish white patches. Observe these patches through a magnifying glass. You will see tiny black rounded structures. Do you know what these structures are and where do these come from? 2.1 Microorganisms. Collect some moist soil from the field in a beaker and add water to it. After the soil particles have settled down, observe a drop of water from the beaker under a microscope. What do you see? Activity 2.2. Take a few drops of water from the pond, spread on the glass slide, and observe through the microscope. Do you find tiny organisms moving around? These observations show that water and soil are full of tiny organisms. Though not all of them fall into the category of microbes, these microorganisms or microbes are so small in size that they cannot be seen with the unaided eye. Some of these, such as fungus that grows on bread, can be seen with a magnifying glass. Others cannot be seen without the help of a microscope. That is why they are called microorganisms or microbes. Microorganisms are classified into four major groups. These groups are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and some algae. Some of these common microorganisms are shown in Figure 2.1 to 2.4. Viruses are also microscopic but are different from other microorganisms. They, however, reproduce only inside the cells of the host organism, which may be a bacterium, plant, or animal. Some of the viruses are shown in Figure 2.5. Common ailments like cold, influenza, flu, and most coughs are caused by viruses. Serious diseases like polio and chickenpox are also caused by viruses. Diseases like dysentery and malaria are caused by protozoa, protozoans, whereas typhoid and tuberculosis, TB, are bacterial diseases. You have learned about some of these microorganisms in class 6 and 7. So these are the microorganisms that are being shown to you. In figure 2.1 bacteria, figure 2.2 algae, Chlamydomonas spirogyra, figure 2.3 protozoa, amoeba, paramecium, bread mold, penicillium, aspergillus, figure 2.4 fungi. Figure 2.5 viruses. 2.2 where do microorganisms live? Microorganisms may be single celled like bacteria, some algae and protozoa, or multicellular such as many algae and fungi. They live in all types of environment ranging from ice cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy lands. They are also found inside the bodies of animals including humans. Some microorganisms grow on other organisms while others exist freely. 2.3 Microorganisms and us. Microorganisms play an important role in our lives. Some of them are beneficial in many ways, whereas some others are harmful and cause diseases. Let us study about them in detail. Friendly microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for various purposes. They are used in the preparation of curd, bread, and cake. Microorganisms have been used for the production of alcohol since ages. They are also used in cleaning up the cleaning up of the environment. For example, the organic waste, vegetable peels, remains of animals, feces, etc., are broken down into harmless and usable substances by bacteria. Recall that bacteria are also used in the preparation of medicines. In agriculture, they are used to increase soil fertility by fixing nitrogen. Making of curd and bread. You have learned in class 7 that milk is turned into curd by bacteria. I saw that my mother added a little curd to warm milk to set curd for the next day. I wonder why. Next, curd contains several microorganisms. Of these, the bacterium Lactobacillus promotes the formation of curd. It multiplies in milk and converts it into curd. Bacteria are also involved in the making of cheese, pickles, and many other food items. An important ingredient of rava, suji, idlis, and baturas is curd. Can you guess why? Bacteria and yeast are also helpful for fermentation of rice idlis and dosa batter. Activity 2.3. Take half kg flour, atta or maida, add some sugar and mix with warm water. Add a small amount of yeast powder and knead to make a soft dough. What do you observe after 2 hours? Did you find the dough rising? Yeast reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. Bubbles of the gas fill the dough and increase in volume. Figure 2.6. This is the basis of the use of yeast in baking industry for making breads, pastries, and cakes. Commercial use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for the large-scale production of alcohol, wine, and acetic acid, like vinegar. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, crushed fruit juices, etc. Activity 2.4. Take a 500 ml beaker filled up to 3 by 4th with water. Dissolve 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. Add half a spoon of yeast powder to the sugar solution. Keep it covered in a warm place for 4-5 hours. Now, smell the solution. Can you get the smell? This is the smell of alcohol as sugar has been converted into alcohol by yeast. This process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. Louis Pasteur discovered fermentation in 1857. Medicinal use of microorganisms. Whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsules, or injections such as of penicillin. The source of these medicines is microorganisms. These medicines kill or stop the growth of the disease causing microorganisms. Such medicines are called antibiotics. These days, a number of antibiotics are being produced from bacteria and fungi. Streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin are some of the. In 1929, Alexander Fleming was working on a culture of disease causing bacteria. Suddenly, he found the spores of a little green mold in one of his culture plates. He observed that the presence of mold prevented the growth of bacteria. In fact, it also killed many of these bacteria. From this mold, penicillin was prepared. Commonly known antibiotics, which are made from fungi and bacteria. The antibiotics are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms and are used to cure a variety of diseases. Antibiotics are even mixed with the feed of livestock and poultry to check microbial infection in animals. They are also used to control many plant diseases. It is important to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. Also, you must complete the course prescribed by the doctor. If you take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you might need it in future. Also, taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. Antibiotics, however, are not effective against cold and flu as these are caused by viruses. Vaccine. Why are children and infants given vaccination? When a disease carrying microbe enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. The body also remembers how to fight the microbe if it enters again. If dead or weakened microbes are introduced into a healthy body, The body fights and kills the invading bacteria by producing suitable antibodies. The antibodies remain in the body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes forever. This is how a vaccine works. Several diseases, including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, and hepatitis, can be prevented by vaccination. Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. In our childhood, in your childhood, you must have been given injections to protect yourself against several diseases. Can you prepare a list of these diseases? You may take help from your parents. It is essential to protect all children against these diseases. Necessarily, vaccines are available in the nearby hospitals. You might have seen the advertisement on TV and newspapers regarding protection of children against polio under the Pulse Polio program. Polio drops given to the children are actually a vaccine. A worldwide campaign against smallpox has finally led to its eradication from major parts of the world. These days, vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from several diseases. Increasing soil fertility. Some bacteria are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. These microbes are commonly called biological nitrogen fixers. Figure 2.7 is showing you the nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria, which is blue green algae. Cleaning the environment. Bojo and Paheli had observed the school gardener making manure. Along with their friends, they collected waste of plants, vegetables, and fruits from nearby houses and gardens. They put them in a pit meant for waste disposal. After some time, it decomposed and got converted to manure. Bojo and Paheli wanted to know how this had happened. Activity 2.5. Take two pots and fill each pot half with soil. Mark them A and B. Put plant waste in pot A and things like polythene bags, empty glass bottles, and broken plastic toys in pot B. Put the pots aside. Observe them after 3-4 weeks. Do you find any difference in the contents of the two pots? If so, what is the difference? You will find that plant waste in pot A has been decomposed. How did this happen? The plant waste has been converted into manure by the action of microbes. The nutrients released in the process can be used by the plants again. Did you notice that in pot B, the polythene bags, glasses, bottles, and broken toy parts did not undergo any such change? The microbes could not act on them and convert them into manure. You often see large amounts of dead organic matter in the form of decaying plants and sometimes dead animals on the ground. You find that they disappear after some time. This is because of the microorganisms decompose dead organic waste of plants and animals, converting them into simpler substances. These substances are again used by other plants and animals. Thus, microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby clean up the environment. 2.4. Harmful microorganisms. Microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms cause diseases in human beings, plants, and animals. Such disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Some microorganisms spoil food, clothing, and leather. Let us study more about their harmful activities. Diseases caused by microorganisms in humans. Pathogens enters our body through air we breathe, the water we drink, or the food we eat. They can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person or carried by an animal. Microbial diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or physical contact are called communicable diseases. For example, of such disease are including cholera, common cold, chickenpox, and tuberculosis. When a person suffering from common cold sneezes, fine droplets of moisture carrying thousands of viruses are spread in the air. The virus may enter the body of a healthy person while breathing and cause infection. There are some insects and animals which act as carriers of disease causing microbes. Housefly is one such carrier. The flies sit on the garbage and animal excreta. Pathogens stick to their bodies. When these flies sit on uncovered food, they may transfer the pathogens. Whoever eats the contaminated food is likely to get sick, so it is advisable to always keep food covered. Avoid consuming uncovered items of food. Another example of a carrier is the female Anopheles mosquito, which carries the parasite of malaria plasmodium. Female Aedes mosquito acts as a carrier of dengue virus, and can we control the spread of malaria or dengue? Figure 2.8, female Anopheles mosquito. Then how do you prevent the spread of communicable diseases? Why does the teacher keep telling us not to let water collect anywhere in the neighborhood? We should keep a handkerchief on the nose and the mouth while sneezing. It is better to keep a distance from infected persons. All mosquitoes breed in water. Hence, one should not let water collect anywhere in coolers, tires, flower pots, etc. By keeping the surroundings clean and dry, we can prevent mosquitoes from breeding. Try to make a list of measures which help to avoid the spread of malaria. Now we are heading towards table 2.1. Some common human diseases caused by microorganisms. So, diseases, tuberculosis is caused by bacteria, mode of transmission is air. Measles caused by virus, mode of transmission is air. Chickenpox is caused by virus, mode of transmission is air or contact. Polio caused by virus, mode of transmission is air or water. For all these diseases, the preventive measures are to keep the patient in complete isolation, keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others, vaccination to be given at suitable age. Cholera is caused by bacteria, mode of transmission is water or food. Typhoid is caused by bacteria, mode of transmission is water. For both these diseases, preventive measures are: maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits, consume properly cooked food and boiled drinking water, and to have vaccination. Hepatitis A is caused by virus, mode of transmission is water. Drink boiled drinking water, vaccination should be given. Malaria is caused by a protozoa, mode of transmission is mosquito. Use mosquito net and repellents, spray insecticides, and control breeding of mosquitoes by not allowing water to collect in the surroundings. Some of the common diseases affecting humans, their mode of transmission, and few general methods of prevention are shown in Table 2.1. Disease causing microorganisms in animals. Several microorganisms not only cause diseases in humans and plants, but also in other animals. For example, anthrax is a dangerous human and cattle disease caused by a bacterium. Foot and mouth disease of cattle is caused by a virus. Robert Koch in 1876 discovered the bacterium Bacillus anthracis, which causes anthrax disease. Disease causing microorganism in plants. Several microorganisms cause diseases in plants like wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, orange, apple, and others. The diseases reduce the yield of crops. See Table 2.2 for some such plant diseases. They can be controlled by the use of certain chemicals which kill the microbes. So, Table 2.2 is showing some common plant diseases caused by microorganisms. Citrus canker is caused by bacteria, mode of transmission is air. Rust of wheat is caused by fungi, mode of transmission is through air or seeds. Yellow vein mosaic of bindi or okra is caused by virus, mode of transmission is insect. Next topic, food poisoning. Bojo was invited by his friend to a party and he ate a variety of food stuff. On reaching the home, he started vomiting and had to be taken to a hospital. The doctor said that this condition could be due to food poisoning. Paheli wonders how food can become a poison. Food poisoning could be due to the consumption of food spoiled by some microorganisms. Microorganisms that grow on our food sometimes produce toxic substances. These make the food poisonous, causing serious illness and even death. So it is important to that we preserve food to prevent it from being spoiled. 2.5 Food preservation. In chapter 1, we have learnt about the methods used to preserve and store food grains. How do we preserve cooked food at home? You know that bread left unused under moist conditions is attacked by fungus. Microorganisms spoil our food. Spoiled food emits bad smell and has a bad taste and changed color. Is the spoiling of food a chemical reaction? Paheli bought some mangoes, but she could not eat them for a few days. Later, she found that they were spoiled and rotten. But she knows that the mango pickle her grandmother makes does not spoil for a long time. She's confused. Let us study the common methods of preserving food in our home. We have to save it from the attack of microorganisms. Chemical method. Salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used to check the growth of microorganisms. Therefore, they are called preservatives. We add salt or oil preservatives to pickles to prevent the attack of microorganisms. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfide are common preservatives. They are also used in jams and squashes to check their spoilage. Preservation by common salt. Common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish for ages. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check the growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to prevent amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. Preservation by sugar. Jam, jellies, and squashes are preserved by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture content, which inhibits the growth of bacteria which spoil food. Preservation by oil and vinegar. Use of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such environment. Vegetables, fruits, fish, and meat are often preserved by this method. Heat and cold treatments. You must have observed your mother boiling milk before it is stored or used. Boiling kills many microorganisms. Similarly, we keep our food in the refrigerator. Low temperature inhibits the growth of microbes. Why does the milk that comes in packets not spoil? My mother told me that the milk is pasteurized. What is pasteurization? Pasteurized milk can be consumed without boiling as it is free from harmful microbes. The milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled and stored. By doing so, it prevents the growth of microbes. This process was discovered by Louis Pasteur. It is called pasteurization. Storage and packing. These days, dry fruits and even vegetables are sold in sealed airtight packets to prevent the attack of microbes. 2.6 Nitrogen fixation. You have learned about the bacterium rhizobium in class 6 and 7. It is involved in the fixation of nitrogen in leguminous plants' pulses. Recall that rhizobium lives in the root nodules of leguminous plants, figure 2.9, such as beans and peas, with which it has a symbiotic relationship. Sometimes nitrogen gets fixed through the action of lighting, but you know that the amount of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains constant. You may wonder how. Let us understand this in the next section. Figure 2.9, roots of a leguminous plant with root nodules. 2.7 Nitrogen cycle. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is one of the essential constituents of all living organisms as a part of proteins, chlorophyll, nucleic acids, and vitamins. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by plants and animals. Certain bacteria and blue green algae present in the soil fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into compounds of nitrogen. Once nitrogen is converted into these usable compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil through their root system. Nitrogen is then used for the synthesis of plant proteins and other compounds. Animals feeding on plants get these proteins and other nitrogen compounds. Figure 2.10. When plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil convert the nitrogenous waste into nitrogenous compound to be used by plants again. Certain other bacteria convert some part of them to nitrogen gas, which goes back into the atmosphere. As a result, the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains more or less constant. So, nitrogen cycle is given to you in figure 2.10. With this, we are done with the reading of this chapter. Chapter 2, Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. The keywords of this chapter are algae, antibiotics, antibodies, bacteria, carrier, communicable diseases, fermentation, fungi, lactobacillus, microorganism, nitrogen cycle, nitrogen fixation, pasteurization, pathogen, preservation, protozoa, rhizobium, vaccine, virus, yeast. What you have learned. Microorganisms are too small and not visible to the unaided eye. They can live in all kinds of environment ranging from ice cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy lands. Microorganisms are found in air, water, and in the bodies of plants and animals. They may be unicellular or multicellular. Microorganisms include bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and some algae. Viruses, though different from the above mentioned living organisms, are considered microbes. Viruses are quite different from other microorganisms. They reproduce only inside the host organism, bacterium, plant, and animal cell. Some microorganisms are useful for commercial production of medicines and alcohol. Some microorganisms decompose the organic waste and dead plants and animals into simple substances and clean up the environment. Protozoans cause serious diseases like dysentery and malaria. Some of the microorganisms grow on our food and cause food poisoning. Some microorganisms reside in the root nodules of leguminous plants. They can fix nitrogen from air into soil and increase soil fertility. Some bacteria present in the soil fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into nitrogenous compounds. Certain bacteria convert compounds of nitrogen present in the soil into nitrogen gas, which is released to the atmosphere. So, with this, I am done with the reading of Chapter 2 Microorganisms, Friend and Foe of Class 8 NCRT that is used in the CBSE board. Consider subscribing to have the recent notifications. See you in next video. Thank you.